doing? I hope you're having a fabulous Friday. I don't know what day it would be when you watch this video. It's going on YouTube channel probably as soon as I get done with the editing and everything like that. I also have another footage that's gonna coincide with this one. And so I was telling y'all I'm gonna do things kind of more like bloggy, like meaning like anything that I'm like if I'm out and about, or if I could just mental thought as far as me thinking and try to video footage things of things that I'm doing or things I'm doing with my family, or even just might include some things trading wise, which I most likely am going to do. But yeah, just things like that. I'm gonna start doing it and putting it in, do my editing and just kind of throw it in there. But I definitely want to just take a minute to just talk to you guys. So I've been away. I've actually been sick. Um, so on around August the 4th, um, I started feeling, sick, like the usual. When I say the usual, I was sneezing, things that I kind of just normally do anyway, because I do have real bad allergies. And so I was sneezing, I was stuffy nose, just kind of just feeling congested, like, and so I chopped it up and yeah, it's just my allergies acting up. And then I noticed it wasn't getting better. I took some my Zyrtec, and I even used my inhaler because I did kind of realize I was a little short of breath, but it wasn't too extreme, wasn't too bad. So I did use my inhaler because I have asthma, and so anyway, as days had went by the time it had got to Saturday, I was like not doing good at all. It was to a point where my nose was like on fire, like consistently. It wasn't going away. Like it was just like the burning was just staying there. Like it wasn't going anywhere. No matter if I use saline. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. So I was using saline, and I was using my Flonase. I was using all those things for my nose because of the burning sensation I was having there, and it wasn't doing a bit of good at all. And besides that going on, I was sneezing, I was coughing, I was congested, I couldn't breathe. And not only that, I actually, where I was eating, I couldn't taste nothing, like nothing at all. Couldn't taste nothing, couldn't smell nothing, and I couldn't breathe. That was the most important part, which was my entire reason for going to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and they examined me and everything like that, and they told me that yeah, you have bronchitis. And so they had prescribed me steroids and things like that. Then afterwards, I did took the COVID test because they asked me, and I told them yeah, I want to go ahead and take that test. I took the COVID test, and guess what? I tested positive for COVID. So I was, given the instructions, pay all my paperwork, my discharge papers, pretty much, gave me the instructions what I needed to do, but also they told me verbally what I needed to do. I had to automatically self quarantine after I, went to the pharmacy, which I went to drive through and pick up my meds that they had prescribed me. Go to and go. The instructions was to go home, self quarantine. Keep in mind, I have babies, y'all. I have my two boys, and I my main concern was really was about them at that point in time, just because I I was in shock, but after I got over the shock, my concern was them because of the fact that I didn't want them catching COVID. My fact, I didn't even know. I was hoping that I didn't already, it was already exposed them, so I can't really say I hope I didn't expose them. But I had technically already done that by them just being around me. They had already been exposed to me, but I was hoping that they wouldn't catch it, you know what I mean? And that was like my main concern throughout the whole time that I was sick. And let's see, I want to know how long was I want to say that I was sick. So I was sick from like I started getting ill on the 4th, like that evening. And it got worse. I want to say, honestly, I didn't start getting better until the 14th. Let me think, y'all. I want to say I didn't get better. I didn't start seeing relief until like the 14th or the 15th. I might lean towards that Sunday, the 15th, which was this past Sunday. This past Sunday, I started feeling a teeny weensy better, but I was really fatigued. And so I'm gonna go over all my symptoms that I experienced with COVID, and just kind of lay everything down with you guys, and things that you can honestly do, which you probably don't need me to say this, but just go over the things that you can do to probably um, prevent you from getting COVID. Okay, so so let me go over my symptoms first. Okay, so and I didn't write nothing down, which I probably should have, but my symptoms was, like I said, I was sneezing, I was coughing, I was short of breath, burning in my nose. Like I said, it was super bad. Like my nose was literally, when I keep saying it was on fire, because every time people talk to me, I'm saying my nose was like on fire. People probably giving me the like, what do you mean your nose was on fire? But what I just really mean by that is it was burning to the point where it literally felt like it was on fire. So I can't describe it, but it was consistently there. It didn't really go away. I did take aspirin because I was advised I could take Tylenol. Tylenol was fine because Tylenol is good to prevent or to take your fever down if you have one, or just prevent you from getting a fever. I did take that. I also took Sudafed. I also took Zyrtec. Um, now keep in mind, I'm just telling you the things that I personally take. This is no me advising anyone to take things. I'm not licensed to or certified to do that. Okay, so I'm just going over my experiences, what I went through, and what I took. So I did take Sudafed, Tylenol. Um, I used my inhaler because of my breathing. Um, let's see what else. The cough syrup they prescribed me for the coughing because I had a real bad cough. Um, what else? I think that's it. I might be forgetting something, but I think that's it. I drank orange juice. I took my vitamins, which brings me to go ahead and talk about things that you can do to kind of prevent, if you can, to kind of prevent you from getting sick. So, vitamin C is a must. Okay, so, and again, I'm not licensed, so I shouldn't be telling you. I shouldn't use the word that things that you should take. Okay, so I shouldn't say that. So how about I'm just gonna say ways how you can prevent. But again, I'm not licensed, so I won't. Matter of fact, I won't scratch that. I won't even use those words. Okay, I won't even talk about vitamins. But what I'm gonna say mainly and focus on this, um, is to make sure that you mask up. Meaning, make sure you purchase your mask, or if you know anyone that's selling masks, get your mask. Collect masks. The reason why I said that, because a mask is going to be your best friend, but not just masks. I don't want to just tell you just masks, because I just did masks. I actually literally wore my mask in public places and I still caught COVID. But I know why, and I'm going to kind of let you know that too. How did I get exposed? How did I get sick and things like that? But mainly still wear a mask anyway, because it can help. Hand sanitizers, that's a must. Keep hand sanitizer on hand. Keep Lysol on hand. I mean, you don't have to carry a big old can, but just a small can, a traveling can, will suffice. If you need to sanitize things because it kills COVID, do so. That would be and I'm glad I brought this up, because that's something that I probably literally need to start doing. That's something that I have not been doing, which I'm going to start doing, is keeping a can of Lysol. So keep a can of Lysol with you on hand. Let's see what else I could possibly say. Try to keep touching people at a minimum. Matter of fact, if you can make it at zero, that would probably be good. Um, but try to be, not. And I hate to say that because I really didn't find myself to be telling people what you can do, but lately it's like this virus has everyone where you can't even hug anybody. You know what I mean? Like you was able to hug your friends, you was able to hug your family members if you happen to see them or whoever. Now it gets you worried. Like, should I even hug you? I mean, I mean, and it's crazy to even say things like that, but it's true. Um, so definitely keep your mask on. Keep touching people at a minimum, zero minimum if you can. Um, you know, what else I want to say? Um, like I said, keep a can of or keep hand sanitizer, but also keep a can of Lysol with you. Um, and I feel like I'm forgetting something here. I know I probably am, but yeah, just do these things. It's extremely important. Those are things that you can prevent. I do want to say, talk to your doctor. I'm gonna go ahead and mention vitamins now, but again, talk to your doctor because I'm not a doctor. Because some people can't take vitamins, and that's understandable. But talk to your doctor. If your doctor okay you, then vitamin C is awesome to take. Um, Zinc. Um, Let me see what else. Vitamin D. So I take what I had, and I wish I would have brought my things with me, or not things with me, but just my vitamins. I wish I had it in close reach where I could kind of show you what I take, but just take these things because it's well, I keep saying just take these things, but once you talk to your doctor okay it, then um, definitely it would be beneficial if you can do these things, help you from getting sick, or ways to help prevent you from getting sick. It's always best. And the cases are always rising. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Every time I'm watching the news, or even when I'm on social media, I'm hearing or seeing or reading or whatever about the cases rising. More hospitals are being booked to the max where they're turning people away, and that's actually sad to sit there and someone's coming in, asking, begging for help because they're sick and they're being told we can't take you in. I mean, I just don't know, and I'm blessed that mines didn't get to be honest, there was days where I almost thought I had to go to the hospital. I'm not gonna lie, but I did just go to urgent care only, and I managed to get through the pain by just taking what I took. And oh yeah, B12. I had B12 also. I know I was forgetting something. I had B12 as well. I noticed taking the B12 did help give me a little energy, even though I barely had it. I was really fatigued, y'all. Like when I say fatigue, I felt like I ran a marathon. That's how I could kind of describe how I felt through that whole experience. And keep in mind, y'all, I had the vaccine, so I just want to like make that known. You can kind of take that as how you want to take that, but I had visor. I had the visor back in April, and so but yeah, I ran up getting COVID anyway. Now I did say I was going to talk to you about how I think I caught it, and I know how, but I'm pretty confident on how I caught it. Um, my hubby, he does work, and he at his job site he was taking a coworker home, for uh, I want to say for two, at least for 2 weeks. Yeah, he was taking a coworker home for two whole entire weeks because the coworker car had wasn't working, and it was in the shop basically, and so he took this coworker home for 2 entire weeks. But my hubby was telling me that he kept complaining about stomach pain and he was vomiting. And I was telling him, you know, you got to be careful. I was like, well, just be careful taking people home when they're sick. I'm not trying to sound harsh. And I think my hubby thought I was being mean at the time when I was telling him this. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. And I'd be like, well, with COVID going around, you really got to be super careful, just taking people around, period. And I wasn't trying to be mean, and I'm not a really mean person. I'm really genuine. I am that person. Believe me, I am that person that feels like if your coworker or if your friend or your family needs a ride, definitely give them one. I mean, especially if you had liberty to do so, definitely do it. I'm that person. I'm not a mean person to the point where I say, oh, don't take that person nowhere. I'm not like that. So, but I was thinking about his health as well as our kids' health as well as my health when I was telling him and he had pneumonia like about 4 or 5 years ago. So that was kind of what my mindset was at the time when I kept telling him just be careful because I didn't want him getting sick. And so I kept telling him to just be careful, your friend. And I even suggested this at one point because every time my hubby would come home from work, he was telling me what his coworker was doing. Like he was telling me his coworker kept saying he wasn't feeling good, he wasn't holding nothing down, he couldn't eat. And I was telling him, well, you sure he doesn't have COVID? And keep in mind, I said this without really knowing the entire symptoms of what COVID can cause, because really I really didn't know that COVID can really cause stomach pain. I mean, I knew about the nausea because I heard about nausea, and I heard about shortness of breath. I heard about the coughing, the sneezing. But he was telling me his coworker was really just complaining about stomach pain and being nauseated and throwing up, and he was actually vomiting and couldn't hold nothing. He couldn't even eat. So his coworker, and he said his coworker was actually losing weight. And so he was telling me these things. And so I was like, okay, just be careful. I was like, just be careful. Please be careful. Maybe you should. I mean, if your coworker, and I even said, and again, I'm saying these things, but I wasn't saying it to be cruel. I was telling maybe his coworker shouldn't even be at work. I mean, if he's sick, he should just be at home. Maybe he shouldn't have you picking him up if he's sick like that. You know what I mean? And so my hubby was just like, no, he just was kind of blowing me off. You could tell he was blowing me off, and I know when my hubby is kind of like blowing me off and kind of taking a little offense as to what I'm saying, and that's kind of what he was doing throughout the whole time I was telling him this. And so anyway, uh, it after 2 weeks had passed by or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm reading messages as I'm doing this video. But as time had went by, and when 2 weeks, because after 2 weeks after he got done taking his coworker to work and everything, his coworker actually got his car back out of the shop, and he was good to go, right? And so we got sick literally on the 7th, not 7th, I'm sorry, scratch that, on the 4th. We both got sick at the same time on the 4th. He told, because he actually that day he was like, he kept calling me that day saying I'm not feeling too good, and I said, what's wrong? He's like, I got this real bad headache, like it's not, a real bad headache. And he's like, I'm just feeling like I'm coming down with something. And I said, well, I said, if you keep feeling this way, maybe you should like let your boss know that you need to go home. And he's like, yeah, I might. He's like, I'll let you know. I keep you updated. And I said, well, what else is more besides you just not feeling right? I mean, like, give me your symptoms. Like tell me what's going on. He was like, I can't describe it. Just don't feel right. Like I just feel like I can't do anything. Like I feel like the wind or something just been knocked out of me. I just feel really weak. Like I can't do anything. He was like, I do have a real bad headache. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, well, just let your boss know if you can. And he's like, yeah, I might do that. And so anyway, he called me around, it got like afternoonish. He called me. He was like, yeah. He's like, I went ahead and talked to my boss. They said it was okay. I'm going to go ahead and go home because I'm just not feeling well. I was like, okay, go ahead. And so mind you, when he was doing that, I was having my experiences. I was sneezing nonstop. I was congested, and I was knocking this acid. Okay, this is just some type of allergies, sinus, or something. And I'm sounding congested right now as I'm doing this video, y'all. But I did retest, and I tested I tested negative. All right. And I do feel better. Oops, sorry. I do feel better. I'm not, not gonna lie to y'all, I'm not at 100%, but I do feel a lot better. My energy is a little bit, I have way more energy. Um, the burning in my nose have completely gone away. I do sound a little, I'm starting to sound a little congested at the moment. Um, and it just started actually as I'm doing this video, to be honest, and that's sad. But anyway, but yeah, so so after that whole experience, like I said, we both got sick at the same time on the 4th. I was having my issues going on. And I even told him my issues, but like I said, he was just talking about he just wasn't feeling right. And then by the time he came home and everything like that, he started telling me he can't eat. And I'm like, why you can't eat? He was like, because I just can't eat. Like, I'm not wanting when I'm like, he's like, I don't know if it's the food or what. I just can't eat this. And I'm like, okay. And so then he started complaining about his stomach, saying his stomach don't suck right. He think he's just gonna go lay down. And I'm like, okay. And I said, and then this is when I mentioned to him, and he got offensive because my hubby is that type of person. He got offended, I guess I should say. When he started talking about his stomach wasn't feeling right, like it was like feeling like it was bubbly, like something like it was going on, like his digestive system wasn't. He does basically. I guess that's what he was trying to say. He didn't really say it like that, but he just kept saying his stomach wasn't feeling right. My stomach wasn't feeling right, and then I had to get him to actually tell me, okay, when you mean your stomach not feeling right, what is it doing, like for you to say it's not feeling right? But anywho, he finally told me, and then that's when I said, "Are you sure that you're not sick from?" I'm not gonna say his name, from his coworker, and he was like, no, I don't think so. I think what such and such have is not wasn't contagious. I think it was related to his medical issue because his coworker has other medical underlining other medical conditions that you know which is understandable, but he has other medical conditions as well. Okay, so my hubby kept on just referring to that, and I'm like, well, also, I have relatives that also has that same medical condition. I was telling him that that certain medical condition wouldn't cause you to have those type of symptoms. I know that for a fact because I have close relatives that have that same medical condition. And he was like, well, you know what? I don't know, but I just know that he didn't have anything at all or whatever. So just, stop it, stop it. And I'm like, okay, 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 okay. And then the next day it was getting worse, and he was at that point he wasn't eating. He talking about he can't eat. His stomach. He's like, and I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, I'm just really tired. I just want to sleep. And I'm like, well, you can't sleep the day away. You need to, if you need to go to the doctor, you need to do so. And he was like, oh no, I don't need to go to no doctor. They can't help me. And I'm like, well, if you need a doctor, I mean, it's not normal for you just to sleep around and stop talking about you sleeping around because your stomach not feeling right. And I'm like, you need to start telling me what all your stomach is doing, like literally, like what's it doing now? And it was like pulling teeth with my husband. Like when he gets sick, it's like hard to get him to like talk to me because all he want to do is exclude himself, isolate himself. That's what I should say. He wants to isolate himself, which I guess everybody when they get sick they do different things, but that's what he was doing. He was like isolating himself, and I'm wanting him to like just tell me what's wrong, like what's wrong. And then I was going through my own issues where I wasn't feeling good either, and but my husband, he was acting like he was doing a lot worse. I mean, I don't know, but that's like how it seemed because he literally was just like he couldn't, like he acted like he couldn't stay awake at all, and he was just pretty much almost like he was bent all over. and he just kept complaining about his stomach, his nausea. He was vomiting. He did start vomiting. It was just horrible, and I wasn't going through that, so my symptoms was a tad bit different from his. He did start coughing, and so our only similarity things that we actually had was like he eventually started coughing and sneezing, and I was coughing and sneezing, so those were like the same things that we were having. But he didn't go through that at first. It gradually, like as the days went on, he started picking up the same things that I was experiencing, like with the coughing and the sneezing, and the fatigue. We experienced all those three things like together. Only difference is he did go through nausea, he did vomit, he did had stomach pain. I did not have those things. I didn't have nausea. I didn't vomit. I didn't I'm trying to think. So I didn't. Oh, I'm trying to do that. So I didn't have I did. Okay, we're talking more. Sorry. So I didn't throw up. I wasn't nauseated. I didn't have stomach pain, but I had other things. Like I said, I was fatigued. I was all those things. Okay, so to keep in mind, with all that being said, is that we both did get tested on the 7th at the same time. We both tested positive, and and again, my husband had got into it with me because I kept on saying his friend may not, you know, or his coworker and friend, because I think he looked at his coworker as a friend. I kept telling him, hey, look, he may have this, and he was like, no, 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 no. And so after we got tested positive, he automatically, he eventually said, I'm sorry, I mean, I guess you were right, because I kept telling him, are you sure you don't have COVID? And he just went off on me, my husband. He went off on me, but he did apologize. So, but so me telling you my whole experience and my whole story is to tell you this: please, 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 if anyone around you is sick, I'm not trying to tell you to treat them harshly or treat them mean or anything, because I wouldn't want nobody to treat me mean because I'm sick. So I would never tell anybody to treat anybody mean because they're sick. But if someone is sick, try to protect yourself as well by making sure you having a mask on, making sure you don't do any type of physical contact with the person, like touching on them or anything like that, because if they have COVID, then you automatically technically can get exposed by just being around them, and that's just honest truth. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So if anyone is coughing, anyone talking about they've been throwing up or whatever, try to encourage them to stay home. Most definitely, try to encourage them to stay home and not to go out or whatever. Because I mean, sometimes people don't think, and I'm that person also. Like again, I easily thought that my coughing, my sneezing, my congestion was just allergies. I tossed it up being just that. Especially when it very first all took place, and it was much more than that, but I didn't know that at the time. And everyone, you're not going to think the worst, automatically, and I wouldn't expect anyone to think the worst when they just cough or whatever. If you cough, it don't all necessarily mean you have COVID or you have a flu or you have something horrible. It could be just something as simple as it could be your asthma or whatever the case may be, or something could went down, like if you was drinking something, if you cough, could, went down the wrong pipe or whatever, whatever. So, a person may not want to think the worst, and I don't expect no one to think the worst automatically. But just keep in mind, if you don't feel like your normal self, and when you feel like your normal self and when you don't, okay? So if you just don't feel like your normal self, try to stay home. That's important. Don't want to expose your loved ones to anything, especially if you don't have to. Okay, I mean, if you have to like cancel, reschedule any appointment obligations that you had, do so. I mean, I don't like canceling appointments, I don't like rescheduling, but if you have to, you have to, especially if you're not feeling well. Okay, and so just do these simple things. Okay, it will make a big difference. And I go to say this too. I think that's mostly what we talk about the spread of COVID. We talk about how there's so many people is getting COVID due to being in contact with other people and things like that. But I think the spread of things is coming down to, it's so many reasons as to why. I think sometimes people are having certain things and they're not aware that they have it. That's one important thing. Like, that's one thing right there where they may have something and they don't know they have it. You know what I mean? And some people don't even know that they have COVID because they're not even having any symptoms. You know what I mean? Like, they're not having any issues. So I don't know, but I probably made this video longer than I need to, but I wanted to tell you my story. I wanted to kind of talk to you about what I've been going through and the reasons why I've been a little MIA. But I'm back trying to be. I'm not 100%, but I'm getting a lot better, and I just wanted to let you guys know what I went through, and I'm trying to trying to be better, or trying to get better. You know what I mean? So that's it. And also I'm dealing with my foot being wrapped up. I had foot surgery. That's bad. I don't remember when I had my foot surgery. I know I had it maybe the week or two before I got sick. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah, about 2 weeks before I got sick, I had my foot surgery. So yeah. All right, so I'm ending it on this note, but I hope this, my experience I'm talking to you about my experience, is valuable enough to let you guys know how what to do, or what are things that you can do to kind of prevent this from happening to you, if possible. Some of my suggestions or ideas or advice that I have, hopefully it can be useful to you. Okay, I'm going to end it on this note. Have a blessed day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey everyone, how you guys are doing on this nice Monday evening with my hubby? So y'all probably haven't seen me in a while, so I'm gonna give you a little update about my a little I don't know, time away. So I've been under the weather. Me and my hubby, we ran up getting tested positive for COVID, and I'm actually happy because today, currently on this video, we got test. We retested, and we retested negative, so we were happy about that. And so we are out with the kiddos, with our kiddos. They're walking. But we're walking to try to try to get our energy our energy back, because COVID really did a number. I mean, a lot of symptoms that we have, but we are blessed to be alive and be able to even do what we're doing right now. But it did put a lot of things in perspective for us. But anyway, I'm not trying to make this video long. I just wanted y'all to know kind of why I haven't made a video in a while. Yeah, I'll probably my next video, I'll probably go in a little detail about the symptoms that I experience and things like that. And oh yeah, and shout out to my family and friends that did reach out and contacted and ask how I'm doing. I appreciate it. Meant a lot. But that's it. So I'm going to enjoy our walk, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.